So matrika, we're saying it's in a way some statement which might be self-serving or life-affirming, and it might be life-negating or self-defeating.
The little mothers are these little letters of the alphabet that keep forming different words and thoughts, and they carry emotion.
Yeah.
And they sometimes carry expansive, beautiful emotion, divine emotion, and sometimes horrible, negative, contracted emotion.
Something, I don't know, I think it was Marshall McLuhan was saying something about
one of my
the
60s,
Greek alphabet, right? And those little letters were the wolf's teeth or something like that, right?
You know what? He was one of my heroes in the 60s. And one of my old friends became a PhD student of his. And I was just in New York, and he came to me and told me about this, Cadman and the alphabet. He told me exactly, and I was talking about matrika. We had the same conversation.
Oh, yeah. How far out?
Amazing.
You know, he's been my hero. He was my hero every decade. I'd pick that little book up again and read it, and a decade later, and I say, oh, this is the third decade I've read it, and it's still right on. You know, I can't believe it.
He was 30, 40 years ahead of his time.
Oh, really, really, really. Yeah.
I'm sure he's reborn here in this community. So.
Oh, yeah. So then a lot of time a matrika is, we don't believe it's something we're saying, and we believe that's the way it is. Now, I'll give this example. I gave it last night in the group. I would say, okay, we think that the Aborigines are maligned people, but then we might think, oh, but they have a lot of anger, so then that creates this life for them. And so then that's kind of like our separation mechanism. We say, well, that's the way it is. They have a lot of anger, so then, of course, they get this negative feedback.
Well, there are cultural matrikas, you know, there's like thought forms in the culture that they hang there in space, and it's the way people think, conventional ways. And you know, we know that culture is essentially diluted. If you look back 300 years at the belief that people had 300 years ago, it seems pretty laughable now. And you know, so it stands to reason that the beliefs that our culture holds now are probably pretty laughable from some more advanced perspective. So these thought forms are around us. So to free ourselves from cultural thought forms, and then there's the family thought forms, and then your own personal thought forms based on your personal experience, you really need to meditate. You really need to go inside and disengage from that and find a deeper place. Then you start to expose all these matrikas, and you see, and you can select then the ones that are good for you and the ones that are bad for you, because otherwise we're not choosing. They're just automatically there. And so we're living a life as an effect of other causes. We're not living from source. So that's why meditation is the essential ingredient in all this. Well, and self-inquiry.
Can we really ever, is there such a thing as no matrika? We're always living a life of effect, right? And then if we have some kind of a touch, we're in some touch. Let's see. Let's make a hypothesis that a long time ago, man was a primitive being, and it only had a few words. So then, in the animal nature too, they don't have matrika, they don't have really words. So then how come they're still having a life?
Well, they have instinctive movements. They're pre-matrika matrikas. They have
pre-matrika.
Yeah,
I like
something.
that.
Well, they understand threat and good and their owner, and there are a lot of things.
Food, they know who to chase.
They know a lot of things, and they live in a lot of fear too.
Is that really fear?
What?
Is animals really have fear?
Yeah, sure they have fear. They
or just terrified. Attention?
What?
Attentiveness?
No, they can get very afraid.
Well, I know dogs
maybe
and
the
stuff
civilized
can, but
ones.
maybe the civilized ones pick up fear from us.
Could be.
Yeah.
But then they're on the way to evolve, in my estimation. They'll evolve to human form. The human form is unique, you see, because it has the power of matrika. And then we're sort of in the middle, where, as Alexander Pope said, we're between the angels and the beasts. We're somewhere in the middle. We're neither God nor beast. And so we can decide which way we go. So we're given free will, and we're given this web of matrika, and we can choose which way we go. Do we go upwards towards peace and happiness, or do we indulge the negative flow of it? That's why the human condition is so exciting and so dramatic and so extraordinary, and so self-reflective. Fantastic position, but not always pleasant. In fact, mostly not pleasant. Very difficult, very difficult. That's why I can't agree with religions that say that if you don't get it right in one life, you're condemned forever to hell. Because, let's face it, this life, this situation, being a human being in a body with various temptations around us, various difficulties, so many things to come to peace with, and our own self-image and our relationships, all these things. How easy is it to solve that problem? Well, it's very difficult. And you can't do that in one go. You have to keep working it. It is so hard.
Same thing. It's very, very simple because it just falls away. Bingo. It's just this.
You're saying that
bingo, right?
Yeah, after 10,000 lifetimes of, being in
but who knows? All those 10,000 lifetimes, where the hell are they? In our memory, in some kind of a memory. They're in a thought form, right? And so then all the matrikas are in thought form
Richard,
too, right?
You've lived 10,000 lives to enable you to have these understandings.
Yeah, but I don't even need to know that.
You don't.
I don't need it.
No, you don't.
Right?
Ramana Maharshi realized God in a half hour.
And so he lived 20,000 lifetimes, right?
Oh, man, he had a lot of lifetimes before that.
Yeah, well, mostly I was a mosquito, sucking blood and stuff, you know. Those lifetimes go quick.
Yeah, they go quick.